Just got it turned on. And I'm in my nightgown. Told you guys I would wear it. I really love this. This is LL Bean. And it's like a flannel, long, goes all the way to my ankles. I actually have it unbuttoned right now, but this is my nightgown. Yep, I'm seeing 2 of you guys are on right now, and I know people will start coming in. So now 3. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've got a little list of notes. Biggest thing is I'm back on my phone again, hoping that this will come in clear. And my husband's on the computer just checking things. So hopefully this will go good. So yeah, I actually wrote down on my live title, I always go back and add a new thumbnail because the pictures you just take off your phone really quick. I wrote Frugality, the Great Depression, and Nightgowns. I just thought those would be great things to talk about. It is clear. Woohoo, good job. Thank you, Erica. So yeah, last time we did this, it was clear part of the time and then it wasn't. And I just felt like it was a little distracting too. And it was really hard for me, because I was like worried about the footage coming through and reading the lives and all that. And I just thought I'm going to get on today and do a live because I told you guys I would and show you off my nightgown and talk about nightgowns. But then I was going to also kind of just run it by you guys. I'm thinking about just doing this once a month, because it gives me time to write things down and think about what I would like to talk to you guys about. Sometimes it's maybe not the easiest for me to just go off I'm not the best at going off the cuff. Hi, looks clear to me too. Hello. Great. Thank you so much. I always call you Kayak Girl. Yes, I always feel like I know you guys by your little names, but then sometimes you sign your names too. So thank you for telling me that. Yeah, so I wrote down some stuff to talk about, just little, list things here. And yeah, I thought it would be better just for me to stay on track because sometimes, it's, I like to talk to you guys about things that like matter. And hello from Florida. Good. We'll say hello to people for a minute. I know a lot of people have a heart for back to basics, homesteading, simple living, slow living, which I really believe all of those just mesh perfectly into just the same. They just go together. They're like just a peas in a pod, So yeah, I'm just sitting here looking, waiting for you guys all. Seems like people are coming on. I've got sometimes I have tea and sometimes I have hot cocoa, but I've really been enjoying kombucha. Actually, I was going to show you guys what brand. Sorry for bumping that. I've been drinking this pineapple peach kombucha right now. It is so good. I love it in the evenings for a little fizz in my 50-cent crystal glasses that I bought. I love these glasses. They're so pretty. They're like crystally. Yeah, so I've been drinking this and I will be definitely making my own soon again once we get all my jars and everything. We've been going through a lot of our boxes lately and still getting everything settled. So hello from New Mexico. Great. Northern Minnesota. Snow. Yes, snow signs there. I bet it's cold. So it was minus 27 a few mornings ago. So anybody been having cold weather like that? Yeah, it was just in the morning. And today, actually, I think it was in the 30s and snowing. So jealous of those beautiful glasses. Oh, yes, these glasses, they're such a treasure. I only have like 4 of these, but I love them. And I figure use what you love and enjoy it. And so I drink my kombucha out of it. It makes me feel good. Yes, that is cold, isn't it, Rachel? Yes, it's funny that the house felt great. It didn't even feel that much. I actually didn't even realize it was that cold till my neighbor was like, how did you like minus 27 when I went and picked up eggs? I'm like, oh, wow. I knew it had been really low, but I didn't realize it had hit. I think that's the lowest we've hit in temperature this winter so far. Snowy Missouri. That's great. Hello. I love hearing where you guys are from. Got a lot of northerner people and southern people and Ohio. Hey, from Ohio. That's great. That is so great. I was just kind of holding on for a few seconds before I started diving into talking and stuff. From Korea. Wow. Oh, I like your channel of watching your cooking. Oh, that's so neat. We just got a cooking video filmed yesterday. Florida. That's great. I love hearing your feedback. Vermont, high of 5 today. Tennessee, Central Indiana. Hello to you guys. Wow. Yeah, it's been a cold winter. Still hot in country Victoria, Australia. Yes, all my Australian friends are having the opposite. They're having their warm weather right now. So yeah, that I'm a real wintry girl, but actually today I was thinking, oh, I wouldn't mind visiting the Oregon coast. I love like February, March. It's still stormy over there because I grew up in Oregon, and I love Boston. Hey, from Boston. I love the Oregon coast. It's so beautiful. But now that we're here in northern or the UP, I would love to go to actually the East Coast. I have not been on the East Coast, so I would love to, maybe go to the coast on maybe the Carolinas, maybe up even further. I don't know. That would be really fun. So I would enjoy doing that. So nightgowns, let's talk nightgowns, and then we'll dive into, I'd really like to tell you guys about my grandma. I have some great grandma stories, granny stories, and I actually put a lot of what I am and kind of that lighted spark from my grandma when I started learning stories. And so that was, I'm going to tell you guys about that story, just about how she kind of got me excited about homesteading and living a simple life and the back to basics mindset. So, but nightgowns. So it's so funny. Actually, moving here actually really got me into wearing nightgowns. When I was younger, I owned an LLB nightgown that was really long and it was cozy and wonderful. But over the years, I just started wearing, like sweatpants or, long shirt, shorts, whatever, it's just very and when we got here, I was getting up, and stoking the fire, and I love nightgowns. And I was like, why don't I have a nightgown? And it was right before my birthday. And so I got to looking and I found LL Bean carried these beautiful long flannel nightgowns, and I was so thrilled. So that was my birthday, and I have been enjoying it so much. And I've been watching some old movies with my husband lately, and I've been noticing that everybody in these old movies have beautiful pajamas, beautiful nightgowns, beautiful robes, and I just think, wow, I just feel like we've kind of walked away from that old-fashioned, wearing beautiful pajamas. And I told my husband that I really do feel really good wearing a beautiful set of, nightgown or pajamas. And I had just recently gotten some really cute ones for the kids. And so I think I'm definitely starting a new tradition in our house. I love that gown. Thank you so much. And I have a really pretty long white one that's embroidered that I got actually at a thrift store for the summertime. It's all cotton and it's so beautiful. So I'm very excited about using that. So yeah, so I don't know, anybody in the group are guilty of wearing sweats? Yeah, I know. I was doing that for years, seriously. I feel like this move has made me kind of think about just taking care of myself on a different level. And yeah, I think it is a Black Watch tartan. I think that is exactly, when I went to it, I think it was because it's getting close to Christmas and everything was getting bought out. There was another pattern I liked a lot too, but it was already sold out. And I'd really love to get the flannel robe to match. So wish list someday, I'll get those. So yeah, so I wonder if you all are pajama wearers or maybe thinking of that. It's yes, I know, moms, sweats and tees. That's what we tend to go to. But I really do feel beautiful in it, and I love like getting up and making breakfast in it, and just, it it's long and flowy and it keeps me warm. I can actually curl up my legs in it and read a book in the morning when the chill's still going on in the house while the fire's warming up. So I really am enjoying this nightgown and trying the tradition of actually wearing a nice one. So that's a lot of fun. So, all right. Let me go on here. Oops, I bumped the phone. I don't want to do that. I'm trying not to do that for you guys because it kind of messes up the screen. I wrote down, I wanted to talk about my grandma. That's what it is. My favorites are April Cornell nightgowns. Oh, you know what? I'm going to write that down right now. A long time ago, had an April Cornell dress that I was in love with, and I forgot her name. So now I'm going to write that down. April Cornell. I will look those up. Thank you. Yes, that looks lovely. All right, so talking about my grandma. When I was in 5th grade, I was asked, our teacher asked all of us to do a report on our, getting a lot of hellos here. Hello, Abby Jo. Hello. I was asked to do a report on a grandparent. And since I lived on a farm with my great grandma across the field, I rode my bike over to her house. And I just remember this so distinctly. I had a notebook and I had to make notes. And I asked my grandma, she was sitting down on the chair opposite me. And I said, Grandma, can you tell me about growing up? And so she just started telling me about her childhood. And I had never known all about that. And I was in 5th grade and I was just listening, and I just it awakened something in me, hearing my great grandma tell me about how she grew up and her family, her mother and father, pure Norwegians that had settled in North Dakota, and her getting married and then moving out to Oregon on their farm. And as she started telling me this story, she told me about the first year on their farm and how they had, grown potatoes and canned 300 quarts of tomatoes and corn. And she said that's what they lived on that winter. And I remember thinking, like, I said, Grandma, you didn't go grocery shopping? And she's like, no, that's what we had. And I think, I'm pretty sure they had a cow, and I know they had chickens. So they had milk and chickens and, eggs and stuff like that. But just hearing that as a young girl, I remember thinking, wow, that is just amazing. Tell me more. I want to hear every single detail. And my grandma was very amused by it, that I wanted to know all the things that she did. And I remember asking her, did you make your own soap? Did you wash your clothes on by hand? And I remember thinking of everything that I had read in Little House on the Prairie. And I couldn't believe that my great grandma did so many things that they did on Little House on the Prairie. And I just was like completely in awe over that. And it really did spark something in me to desire the old ways, the old things. In 5th grade, I was really an old soul even back then. And I completely was, geeking out over my grandma. And it was pretty neat. And now she's actually passed. She passed when my oldest daughter, Johanna, was, I want to say maybe 3 or 4, somewhere around there. Maybe even 2. No, I think it was about 4. At that point, we had moved to Idaho, and we would visit all the time. And I had really good years and really good memories with her. And one of the things, my husband loves this story, is the Depression. What a blessing that she took that time with you. Yes, it is. It's precious. And, to hear a firsthand account of what she did, and it was truly amazing. I think that my grandma and my grandpa, these are my greats, had about 212, 202. I just remember about 200 acres in the Willamette Valley of Oregon, and they were farmers there. And my grandpa during the Depression, actually, right before the Depression hit, he had just this bad feeling. He didn't feel good about their money being in the bank, and so he took the money out of the bank and he actually buried it, my grandma said, in the field. That's what she told me. And my grandma and grandpa never lost their farm during the Depression. So apparently he must have, I don't know how long he kept it buried or what he did, but they ended up, keeping that farm always and never losing it, which was wonderful because, I know it was really tough during the Depression. And some people might even ask, oh, why are you talking about the Depression? This is like, I don't know, slow living channel. But I really believe we learn from our ancestors. And yeah, he did. Yes. What was the word you used, Dan? That grandpa had. I lost that word. Like an unction, basically. Just that he was supposed to get, his money out. And then I'm trying to think. One thing is, they did have community in their little farming area. Grandpa was the local butcher in the community. Like, he wasn't a real butcher in the sense that he didn't have a store, but he was the butcher for the community. Everybody, brought their stuff to him, or he helped them butcher. I think Grandma said he would go and help everybody butcher. He'd farm by the stars. He knew all of the stuff like that. Your grandparents were wise. Yeah, they were. I never actually got to meet my great-grandfather because he was quite a bit older than my grandmother, and he died when my mom was a little girl. So, but I grew up with my grandma, and I was at her house so many weekends, and she was a very patient grandmother because she always let me dig around in her stuff, and I went down into the basement, and I would find things like old Crocs. When I was in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, that is when I started really loving antiques, and I would ask her, oh, Grandma, this was down in the basement, because Grandma would have old junk piles, and she'd let me have them. So I started collecting, I got a butter churn that was down there, and I got a coffee pot and some old tools and just miscellaneous things. And that's when I started collecting antiques, was from, digging around in my grandmother's basement. That's the start of it all. Dry throat here again. Yeah, so she's really, she made soap. She laughed at me because I thought it was so great. I thought, could you teach me how to make soap? And she's like, well, why? You can buy it. And it's funny. I think, well, she was quite a bit older at this point when I was talking to her. But she started collecting antiques in 5th grade. No, about 6th or 7th grade I did. Yeah, I told you I'm an old soul. Yeah, I loved that kind of stuff. I read every book I could get on, prairie living and stuff like that during that time. A Little House on the Prairie was my mom's favorite series, and then my favorite series growing up. And so, yeah, that was definitely, and Grandma, to her, it was just a way that she grew up, and I'm sure she thought it was probably crazy that I wanted to learn those things, but she also was the first person that taught me to can. I did jam with her when I was in about, I think I was a 9th or 10th grader. I asked her if she could teach me how to make, yes, old souls, they are the best. She taught me how to make jam for the first time, which I was so thrilled. Oh, that's wonderful, Erica. Yes. I just felt like I fell in love with canning when my grandma, I think we made strawberry rhubarb jam, and that was the beginning of falling in love with canning and just loving to see those jars filled up with jewel-colored tones of all kinds of good things. And Grandma would have me come over and help her transplant in the garden. Thank you for sharing that. It's so special. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying this. I would love to do a Depression era cooking video, and maybe even more stories and stuff when I have the time. I think that would be delightful because I love those stories so much. And I think that it's a good time in history, even now. I feel like with inflation and so many things. Yes, that's great. With the inflation and different things going on, I feel like it's such a good time to practice those skills, practice frugal living and thriftiness, stretching food, and all that kind of stuff. So I thought that would be. I started canning, but only have a few things. Canning is addictive. It's so much fun. And you can can all year long. You don't have to only can in the summertime. We moved this summer, so I did not get nearly as much canned as I would like. I actually really didn't even can. I just brought the stuff that I'd canned the year before. So I have some peaches and pears and jams and canned tomatoes and stuff like that. But I just got done pickling garlic, and you can, take your fruit that you've frozen in the freezer and make jam. How to make something out of nothing. I know, I love that trait of making something out of nothing. I feel like it is such a lost art. And that is even why we chose Forgotten Way, because of like the old ways. Yes, the holidays. Yeah, I'm going to be making lemon curd and pressure canning chili and some soups pretty soon. I hope to get some of that video too for you guys. It's definitely a lot of work getting it filmed and doing it at the same time. Oh, that's awesome. Taught a friend to pressure can, fermented salsa. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. It is very appreciative. Yes. I just think that taking charge of your own food at home is really important. And I think that you can shop sales even if you're not doing your gardening. Benefit of canning versus freezing. That's a good idea. Canning, I think, is nice because really, to me, it's like ready-go meals, because you can just take it off, and then make a meal really fast. And that can even just be if, simple things like growing up, my mom totally would make dinners out of the canned food that she canned. And she would take, like, let's just say applesauce, and put applesauce in a bowl, take the beans and like green beans, and then she'd have like a roast. So it would just be all done. And then, I'm sorry, I just missed that. I just missed that comment. I think it's about lives. I'm trying to do lives. I said I was going to try to do lives on Sunday. I just didn't know a couple things. I didn't know if the lives were resonating with people, and that if they were good enough to keep doing. And then I was getting some blotchiness with the things, and also time-wise, and I don't know. I'm just new to the whole thing. So, hey, lady. Oh, Jerry Landers. She just popped in. I can create collecting antiques. Yes, you are an old soul. And I got to tell you, I absolutely love your videos. And I feel so connected to you. You have such a lovely way of saying things and telling stories. I love it. Recipe's so good in the middle of winter. Yes. Yes, Rachel. Yes. I agree with you on that. But my mom, getting back to my mom, sorry. Love your channel, Jerry Landers. Yes, Jerry's videos are lovely. Jerry is an absolute knowledgeable woman on everything. I love listening to her. I feel like I could just sit and listen. Yes, wow. There goes that. You don't lose your food. Exactly. I'm loving all your comments, guys. Just what you're saying amongst each other. It's great. Yes. Well, and of course, you can always rewatch this. All right. Well, this is great. Yay. So my mom would make meals like that, easy things. Another thing is, like, I love cooking with a lot of ethnic. Oh, hey, Natalie. So good. You're on. Like ethnic type foods, so like beans already done is really nice, because then I can just grab it and make refried beans. Chili is like, just make it and then you have it there. It's like a treasure, you just dump it. bake some potatoes and you have chili and potatoes for dinner. It's lovely. And I love having peaches and pears and applesauce and pickles. Oh, yes, pickles are lovely. I love pickles. Oh, great storyteller. Thank you. I didn't know how to do these lives because sometimes I don't know what maybe to say. But I know how to tell what I grew up with. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just tell you some of those things. So I'm glad that this is probably one of my most favorite things I'm talking to you about. So that's probably how I can talk easier about it, is because I just love old-fashioned living, the Great Depression, World War II, history in general, learning from those people, learning from my grandmother. It's just amazing. Yes, it is. Opening canned food that you can is absolute treasure. It makes you feel so, so good. And talking about frugality, I was going to tell you that we didn't move here. I love hearing your comments here. I love home canned soups, quick and easy. I totally agree with that. Yes. Have you done a victory garden? I've done lots of gardens. And I'm ready to do my garden this year. Very excited about it, but a little nervous because I'm learning how to do it in a whole new area. And right now, I think this winter, with it hitting minus 27, I do think that maybe I live in Siberia. I believe the old ways are making a comeback. From the age I could walk, I was helping my grandmother in garden preserve. That's wonderful. I know. I do believe it's a call to the back to the basics and just that mindset. And I think people can stretch a lot more and work a lot more to, even in those hard times, by stretching, you can make things beautiful. And my grandma, my mom, my great grandma, they all did that. My grandma was so frugal. My mom's very frugal. My other grandma's very frugal. I mean, I definitely have come from some amazing frugal women. And that's wonderful. I love seeing all your guys' stuff. And basically, that frugality, I didn't realize is not everybody has learned that frugality. And that's something I do want to encourage. And I know I'm still learning, but growing up in it, we really did appreciate the small things. And I think that that's where my love of slow living and hygge and all that comes from, because we live very simple, but like everything was a celebration, like even like Valentine's, for example, we didn't go and buy candy and stuff, except for my dad usually did get us those little heart candies. But my grandma would have us over and we would have cupcakes. And to this day, I still remember her cupcakes. They were so beautiful. And it was like a party, grandma would have us over and it was Valentine's Day and it was special. And she'd say, oh, have the kids come over for Valentine's, and we'd have cupcakes. And that's all we did, but it was special. And that's what I really love. We're spoiled thinking we just go to the store. But the last year reminded me what my parents and grandparents went. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Yeah, I think that a lot of us are probably like, whoa, we rely a lot. And I think that's good to know and acknowledge, and help us to build up good pantries and, learn how to use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. Very good quote. Interesting. It's worth, is it possible to can for only one person? Oh, yeah, I think so. I absolutely think so. You could actually can just little meals for yourself, especially pressure canning and stuff like that. You could, they have electric pressure canners, which I actually got one when we moved. I'll have to show it to you, but I think it cans up to 6 quarts, and it's like an Instapot. And the reason I got that was for just being able to do small batches without pulling up the pressure canner all the time. And it is joyful. It is so, so joyful seeing all the accomplishment of canning. I love how many of you guys are canners on this chat. This is really lovely. It's really neat hearing and seeing all that. I gotta keep drinking or I'll start coughing from... We got chickens and gardens and pigs. Lovely. We don't have any animals right now, which is really hard. But you have to put systems in and moving around. we'll be doing that. We'll be setting it up. My neighbors have beautiful, beautiful chicken eggs that we get. And so we'll setting up gardens and, that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Right now, talking about frugality, I tend to shop at stores, and I definitely look for the deals and the sales, and then I cook from that. I've always been like, if I find squash on sale, I'm going to buy a lot of squash and I'm going to make a lot of things for squash. And there's definitely things that I always get, but I do the same. Yeah. And I like to check out the restaurant stores, like the bulk restaurant stores, because sometimes I can find really good deals. Like on the West Coast, that would be, I can't even think of the restaurant name, Cash and Carry. And then out here, I think it's like Gordon's, Yeah, Cash and Carry and Gordon's. Then Meal Plan, not the other way around. Exactly. That's what I do. Yes. Yes. That's great. So yeah, I go and a lot of times there's clearance and I'll just buy that clearance stuff that's really good and different things. And I'll make soups and different things and can and freeze. I love Azure Standard. I don't think we have it up here. I think there's a drop off in Wisconsin, but that drop off I think is 5 or 6 hours away. Not totally sure. I did buy from another co-op recently. I got some honey and bulk food there. Still learning the area. So yes, I love hearing where you guys all get your bulk foods and stuff from. I was also going to suggest a couple books. And I'm going to have a little disclaimer on these books, but, and I'll tell you why. One of them is the Tightwad Gazette, promoting thrift as a viable alternative lifestyle. I grew up with my mom reading that book and taking things from it. And I'll tell you the one in a second. The other one is More with Less cookbook. And both of those are excellent frugality books. But I also feel the More with Less cookbook has tons of suggestions for using like margarine and just some like fake foods that I definitely would never use in my kitchen personally. But I can still take the cookbook, and use it. I really like how they just have like really simple meals and stuff and they're promoting frugality and things like that. And I've always thought it was a really good one. I'm sorry, what was the first book? Well, the first one was the Tightwad Gazette, promoting thrift as a viable alternative lifestyle, and More with Less cookbook. Both of those are super thrifty cookbooks. There's definitely, like with every book, there's some things you're going to really love and some things you're like, not something I would do. I definitely feel that when you're frugal, I still try to be classy and healthy. Because sometimes when I look at frugality books, they can be a little... I think you can thrift and buy nice things, and you can look for sales and still get quality. Just take your time. Sometimes I won't thrift shop for months, especially since we moved here. Now, when I was in Idaho, I did it a lot because I had a really good thrift store close to our house, and I would just check in all the time. But, I really don't. My main spending is probably just food. Like we buy food and but I like to buy quality. My husband and I always are saying too, like for example, right now I don't have a pig in the freezer. We've raised pigs many times in the past, but we will buy bacon. And yes, it is a Mennonite cookbook. It's the same thing you're recommending. Yes, More with Less. It had some really good ethnic simplicity cooking and saving. What state are you in? We're in Michigan, the UP. But to me, this is what I always tell my husband, classy and healthy even though we're thrifty, is that like the bacon that we buy, I make sure that it's like good quality bacon with no nitrates and garbage in it, because we use the fat. We save all the bacon fat. And I'm not going to, if we're going to use that to flavor or cook or do different things with it, I don't want to use fat that, isn't from good quality stuff. Or same like, I'm not going to use margarine. I'm going to use, good quality olive oil, butter, ghee, duck fat, things like that. I would rather have things that are more natural, and I'm not going to skimp in those areas, but I'm going to maybe use recipes that use those to the best way possible. And one of the best ways to save money really when it comes to food is to not buy processed stuff. I mean, just cooking yourself is such a huge money saver. And also just canning and growing your own food, but sometimes that's not accessible for everyone to have a garden or to get fruit. You can, everybody can garden to some degree, but like this summer I wasn't able to garden because we moved and we've been, fixing our home up. So I had to rely on local farmers market, sales, things like that. So you definitely can do whatever you have to do with what you have available to you. So I just kind of like to always encourage people that you don't have to have 40 acres and a farm to have beautiful canned food on your shelf. Or, you can save money thrifting and have nice clothes. It just takes time sometimes. I always try to stick with brands that I know are going to last and skip the brands that maybe aren't. You can garden in pots. Yes, you can. You can garden on your balcony. Yes, absolutely. And you can buy from, sometimes local farmers. Certain things I will grow, but if I know my neighbor down the road has an amazing crop of potatoes and they're going to sell them really good price or trade, that's something you can do too. So different things there. So let me see what else I got. So those 2 books I think are really good books for thrifty living. And yeah, I definitely would say just stay classy and healthy with it all, and just buy what you really love and don't bring in junk, and don't buy something just because it's on sale. Buy it because you need it, or you want to beautify your living space or whatever. That's another little tip, I guess I'd say. I'm in a townhome. 100% of my canning comes from the farmer's market and grocery store, seasoned with herbs, grown containers. It's so worth it. I love that. Good for you. Many cities have community gardens. Check your local library. Yes. Sage advice. Thank you. It's baking soda biscuits with bacon fat. I did that too just a few nights ago. That is wonderful. Yes, I love it. You guys are just have a kindred spirits on here that love to do the same thing. So that is wonderful. It is dreamy. It's every area is different, and sometimes you find a lot of people and sometimes you find a few. But even if you just have a couple people that are like-minded, connect with them and just see what you can do. There's always people that are, yes, with CSA from local farms. Yes, I met some really neat. That's how I usually start to meet people. I just go out and try to find the farmers, because they're really, really fun to get to know. And a lot of times they're really well with things. My mom used to make preserves and use paraffin wax to seal the jars. Do they still recommend using paraffin? They do a lot in England. I've never used paraffin, but I know a lot of old timers that have. I'm not going to give canning advice on a live like this online, but you can definitely look it up. I know that a lot of people do. I mean, sugar and fruit isn't, it's just jam. So it's not like, I don't feel, I seal with just regular lids, but I'm sure our ancestors knew what they were doing. Do you mill your own? Is that flour? I just see F. Do you mill your own flour? That's Jerry. Yes, I do mill my own flour. just started pulling my mill out, and I videoed several videos on that. So yeah, I really have enjoying it. Got back into it after our move and all of the craziness of remodeling. More this summer I was just camping really and eating very simple and all that, but we're back to the baking and everything. So yeah. This has been really fun, you guys. I really enjoyed hearing your guys' feedback, and this kind of stuff definitely is beautiful. Do you mill your flour? Yeah. You know what? What's best for pie crust? I have to experiment that because that's the one thing that I actually still use white flour for, because I love making pie crust. Like, pie crust is my thing. I just love making a beautiful pie. I just enjoy it so much. It's like I'm doing art or something. I know it sounds kind of silly, but I love making pie, and I still use just a good quality organic whole, like, white flour. I think all purpose or something, and that is what I use for my pies. But I am going to experiment at some point. I know in the past I love this. Feels like hanging out with kindred friends. It does. Favorite meal and dessert to make. Oh, I don't know if I can pin that down, because I'm a mood person. It depends on what mood I'm in. But actually, you want to know a really thrifty meal that is like comfort food to me is, you know what? Just practice and you'll get it down. I was just thinking about children today. I took a walk with the kids, and they kept flopping on the snow, and they were belly crawling. And I was thinking to myself, wow, if I would just flop on the snow and belly crawl around like the kids, I'd probably get all the exercise I need. I was just thinking about how children are so resilient and how they just enjoy everything that's put before them. And that's same with pie crust. It's like, think of it as Play-Doh, or think of it just as practice. Definitely love your channel. Create the cozy vibe. It's not always easy to slow down. I definitely need to talk about that sometime. It's something you have to practice, definitely. But then I think it gets easier, and it's just, I think it's better for us. I think it's better for our health. I think it's better for a lot of things. So definitely I should write that down. Oh, sorry. Yes, I get sidetracked by reading your wonderful comments. Favorite comfort food, and it's super thrifty, is, I know it sounds kind of like plain and simple, but my mom would make biscuits and tuna gravy, and I love it to this day. I still just love tuna gravy and biscuits, but I'm also a seafood fish person. And I can tell you that I can make an amazing tuna gravy. Like, actually, I actually use a really good high quality ahi tuna, and it's so rich, and I spice it up, and so sweet. Love your videos. Oh, thank you guys. Love hearing from all of you. This is very, very fun. And it sounds like the video is still staying clear, so that's a good thing. Yeah, that's one. Definitely, that's a comfort food for me. I love soups. I absolutely adore soups. My kids, I can make any kind of soup. Soup's kind of one of my things that I just feel like I enjoy, and I can make it out of anything, and I think it tastes really good. Everybody tends to like my soups, and I like it with a big crusty loaf of bread. Never heard of tuna gravy. So yes, it's basically making like a roux. Never heard of tuna gravy. Yes, my granny always made tuna cakes. Yes. Oh, that sounds delicious. Yeah, it's like a gravy, and it's kind of like, you can make salmon gravy. You can make, I put a salmon gravy, I think, on the blog. My accent? I didn't catch that. Oh, from Memphis. Oh, hi, Dr. David, MD. Yeah. I don't think I have, I don't know what accent I have. I'm I'm from the West Coast, so I don't know. But yeah, so let me see here. What else do we have? I have on my list of things I wanted to talk to you guys. Yeah, split pea soup and cornbread. Oh, that sounds delicious. I love hearing your comfort food, Jerry. Split pea is probably up there pretty high. My kids love that. You're keeping it real. Oh, thank you. Split pea is definitely. If actually, you know, it's so funny. I nearly missed you. Oh, hey Naomi. So split pea is super thrifty too. Shepherd's pie, delicious. Have you ever, Jerry, read the book Owl? Is it Owl Moon? No, it's not. I don't know if it's Owl Moon. He has split. I'm gonna have to find it now. It's the cutest kids book, and he eats his split pea soup gets frozen because the wind keeps trying to come into his door. Oh, you guys have great comfort foods going on here. Chicken and dumplings, tomato soup. All those things are just delicious and so thrifty, you know. Just those home comfort foods are definitely French onion soup. Oh, yummy. I have never canned that. Oh, what a brilliant idea. That would be a really good thing to can and have on the shelf. It's wonderful. Yeah, you guys, I love hearing everything. So I hope some of you guys are in your pajamas. So I'm not the only one that showed up with the nightgown. I promised you I would. And so I just, you know, took off my earrings and got into my nightgown. I also cook a lot of ethnic foods and simple foods. Mom passed a wonderful split pea recipe with German potato pancakes. That sounds really good. Really delicious. Think of desserts. I love pies and cookies, homemade cookies. My mom always had cookies in the jar. So I actually really like my mom's cookies and my grandma's cookies. It's delicious on the shelf. Yes. Oh, this is so great. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. That makes me happy. It's definitely a lot easier to talk to you guys about things that I love and like. And it seems like you guys like these things too, especially food and coziness. And I want to talk about the pantry too. We need to have a pantry talk soon. But I use home canned. Oh, that sounds delicious. That all sounds good. You guys have good comfort foods that sound very scrumptious. So I just purchased some Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies. Yes, those are good too. Yeah, so let me see here. I have a couple more things I just said, and then I think we'll probably wrap up because we're already at 48 minutes. I can't believe even how quick that time goes. I cook a lot of simple foods and very like ethnic, like Asian, Mexican, Scandinavian, Italian, things like that, and just simple, like almost what you call peasant foods. And like here in America, you know, like if you think of about the pioneers, you know, there was a lot of, you know, like for cornbread and sourdough, you know, and pancakes, and you know, there's definitely the pioneer things. And I definitely make a lot of simple things. I enjoy cooking all different kinds of foods, but definitely, you know, I probably use a lot more of that. And like, we have an Asian dish that we make out of, I think they're rice noodles and vegetables and chicken. And I literally, my daughter and my husband made it last week together when I was cleaning and doing some of the things. Yeah, they're the most expensive in ethnic restaurants, true. And they made the best Asian food ever. We like literally sat around and we were eating it. And I was like, this is better than takeout. It's delicious. So yeah, breakfast for supper is fabulous. Yes, I love breakfast for supper. Yeah, it's a treat when you do that. Definitely. Yes. I just filmed making whole wheat waffles, and that will be coming soon. Rainer is awesome. Yeah, and that's funny. Yeah, so more like peasant type foods and stuff like that. So yeah, that's definitely, and then canning and, you know, yes, I'd love to see Jerry do a live too. Always learn so much. I loved, I make sourdough bread at least twice a week. Sourdough mother, that's wonderful. You know, I watched Downton Abbey, the movie, I think, but I never watched the shows. So I know some references and stuff, but what I'm really addicted to right now when it comes to movies. And when I get off, I'm going to go watch the next episode with my husband and kids. They're waiting for me, is the All Creatures Great and Small, the new one. And the next episode is on, so I'm really excited because I really enjoy it. And I love the English countryside. Yes. Yes, I would tune in too, Jerry, for a live. The show was better than the movie. Yeah, I can't even really remember it very much, but yeah, it's actually the first time I've been in a live chat. Jerry, you're so sweet. Have you watched the older version? You know what? I saw a few episodes when I was younger, but I actually like the new ones a lot better. I don't know if it's just my husband and I really enjoy, we're definitely creatives and we like to film, and the filming is incredible. The quality, the storytelling. So yeah, it's a charming life. Oh, hey, how are you? Big old hello to my cozy friends, charming life. Yay. So yes, I'm going to watch that. And yeah, this is like a big group of people that enjoy when you light candles and all the dishes. Oh, thank you. I really, I love candles and burn them a lot. And yeah, the filming is better. Yes. I just enjoy it, especially in the winter. It's that light. It's that light that just is so cheery. And yeah, and dishes. I've actually gotten my dish collection down a little bit over the years because I started having too many. So I have to, be careful with that because I really do love dishes. And you just asked what candles that I like. I usually get beeswax candles, but I do have, some good, nice quality soy candles that like my friends have gotten me. And I don't even know what they are. They're like more just different ones, but I mostly burn beeswax candles, just to have like, cleaning the air and stuff. All we need is some Huber pasties. I've been hearing a ton of people around here. I've heard that the very famous with the pasties around here, and I will have to learn from someone around here. I can make, we don't call them pasties, but I've definitely candlelight and doing the dishes. I've made those before, similar, and they're very, very delicious. Yes, lighting candles and washing the dishes is such a peaceful task. I love to light candles when I bake. I love to light candles when I'm sitting. I'm usually having candles going on, somewhere in the house at some point, and it's very, very cheery. Narrow based on, what was that TV show? I just missed it. Dishes are Abby Jo one. My one weakness. Yes, it is my one weakness, along with chocolate and baths and nightgowns and kombucha. Is that Daniel? He probably is. It's probably my husband that just said that. I didn't even notice. Candles versus lamps or overhead. I love chandeliers. I love old lamps. I love light, kind of a ambiance lighting, definitely there. You guys are so much fun. Just reading these comments, you're quite the group here. I enjoy it. You'll have a wonderful evening. Start dinner, West Coast. Yes, well, you had Thank you for coming on. I'm going to wrap up too because I told myself I was going to go over an hour and it's 54 minutes in. But appreciate you guys all hopping on. It was so fun talking about nightgowns, frugality, the Great Depression, cooking, favorite things, comfort foods, candles. Yes. Oh, I'm so glad. Let's start a candle lighting revolution here, right? Yes. I hope you all just stay cozy this week and practice. It does take practice for slow living. I'm glad you guys enjoy this. Thank you guys for all your support. Sells, it sounds to me like sells, and deals sound like dills to me. Huh, I wonder. Cozy evening, Hugo. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. I'm reading all your sweet comments. I appreciate them so much. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for coming. I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Bye.